What if I tell you that you can actually video call me just by paying a few hundred rupees and I'll be right there on your screen? You'll see me smiling, talking, maybe even doing, some dirty things. Or you may prefer Tinder. Yes, I'm that too. Name's Priyanka and my bio says, not here for games, just trying something new with life. Swipe right and who knows, maybe we'll match tonight. But the only problem is, it's not me. A few days ago, I found multiple fake accounts of myself, my pictures, my videos that I had posted online, stitched with pictures and videos that were not mine. And they were openly advertising, want to video call her, pay this much money. I had one question. Somebody is sitting behind that screen and actually spending their time and energy to do this work. So what do they even get out of this? And that's when I realized this is not just about me. This is about something much bigger of a business called lust, and how men's lust has become one of the biggest businesses in the world. People think lust is just a feeling, something private, something inside your mind. But let me tell you, your lust is not private anymore. Lust has become a $1 billion industry, a full-blown economy. Imagine back in those days, if someone wanted to see such things, they had to go to some shady theaters or buy a CD from some black market. There was risk, there was shame, there was always a fear of getting caught. But today, lust is just one click away, and this industry has become bigger than Hollywood. Do you know how much money the porn industry makes globally? More than $100 billion every single year. That's more than what Hollywood movies make. That's more than the GDP of some countries, by the way. But the actual issue is, it doesn't stop at adult sites anymore. Now this economy has entered even our regular social media. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, all of them are quietly playing the same game. Let's do a case study. This is Muskan Karia. She started her content creation journey as a snack explorer, and now she's earning more than 40 lakhs a month just from Instagram. Not from brand deals, not from AdSense, just from the subscriptions. She started her content like this, and then changed to this, and then this, and now finally ended up here. Let me make it clear, there is a market, she is just capitalizing it. We need to focus on the 10,000 men who subscribed her by paying 400 rupees a month. And this is not a new case. Even before Muskan went viral, there was another girl in Tamil Nadu. She did not even have to post her videos. Just one clip of her pressing her chest went viral, and instantly she became a sensation, and she was earning around 30 lakhs a month just from Instagram subscriptions. And people even gave her a nickname, Balloon Akka. Obviously you know what balloon stands for here, but Akka in Tamil literally means elder sister. Personally, that made me really uncomfortable because I have two younger brothers and I'm literally an Akka to two boys. So when people are lusting over a woman and still calling her Akka, it just felt very ugly. But that's exactly the point. In this business of lust, nothing is off limits. Akka, Didi, Babi, Bhaiya, nothing matters. Because what is selling is lust. If it sells, it will be used. And this is not just about some one or two viral girls. The same pattern is happening everywhere, from small creators in villages to the biggest platforms in the world. Take OnlyFans for example. It has 305 million user accounts, and you wanna know how many of those are men? 78%. That's over 230 million men spending money every single month to watch a woman online. And the top creators in OnlyFans are making an average of $146,000 a month, not per year, every single month. That's almost 1.3 crore in Indian money. Can you even imagine? That's more than what some people make in their entire lifetime. So now you tell me, is this about talent, about skill, about creativity? Obviously no. It is about lust. Lust has been packaged, priced, and sold like any other product, and millions of men are lining up to buy it. But how is this possible? Because the internet has cracked the code on male psychology. When you scroll through social media, your brain releases the same chemical that makes gambling addictive, the same chemical that makes people get addicted to drugs. But algorithms do not care about your happiness, they care about engagement, and nothing grabs attention like some bare skin. Bikini post on Instagram get a 54% higher reach, shirtless men get 28% more, but if you post on landscape pictures, they get suppressed by 60%. Now you may think, oh, social media is pushing all this kind of nonsense content to me. But the truth is, as someone who made it in social media pushes content which has more engagement on it, because the algorithm pushes whatever makes you stop and stare at it, not what's valuable, just what grabs your attention, which again circles you back to the same point: men's lust. And it's not just platforms like OnlyFans or Instagram. This economy is so powerful that it can even turn the most ordinary thing into a product, even something as simple as a soap. This is Sydney Sweeney, Hollywood actress, global star, and she recently launched a soap in collaboration with some brand. But the twist is, the soap is not just any ordinary soap, it was infused with the actual bath water.
We also have to ask you about your Dr. Squatch. How did the creative concept come to be?
I pitched it.
Each soap bar was priced at $8, and there was no advertisement about the soap's specialities or ingredients. They made only one claim, that it has a actual bath water. And do you know how many soaps were sold? 5,000 soaps. And that was not the end. Some of those soaps were being resold at eBay for $1,600 for a single soap. That's 1,40,000 in Indian money. Now, people were not buying it to wash their hands, right? They were buying it because it carried the fantasy of intimacy with that Hollywood actress. And this is not even new. Back in 2019, another internet star, Belle Delphine, a cosplay creator, did something very similar. She launched a gay girl bath water, literally nothing but jars of water she claimed she had bathed in. Each jar was sold for $30. She put out 500 jars and all of them were gone in 3 days. That's $15,000, 13 lakhs in Indian money just from selling bath water. Then there's a woman who makes more than 10 lakh rupees a week by selling her sweat. And then there's another woman who's making more than 5 lakh rupees a week by selling her morning dirty breath. And then there is another woman who made 1.5 crores by selling her literal fart in a jar. Literal fart sealed and sold. Now think about it. We are talking about sweat, bad breath and farts. Things we normally find disgusting. But when it enters the picture, suddenly they become luxury products. Even the most ordinary or ridiculous things can be turned into a multi-million-dollar idea if there is lust. And there's another platform called Feet Finder, and there people are selling food pictures for $10 to $30 each. Toes, arches, toenail polish, even videos of feet stepping on random objects. People are buying it. Some of the top earners make between 2 lakhs to 5 lakh rupees every single month just by uploading feet content. And this is not some niche corner of the internet. In June 2025 alone, Feet Finder received 2.7 million visits. Basically, what used to be considered a weird fetish is not weird anymore. It's a $1 billion micro market, a legitimate industry, and once again, powered by men willing to pay. So from bath water to farts to feet, the formula is same. Take a man's list, wrap it as a product, and sell it back to him for profit. And with AI, this has become even more dangerous. The AI girlfriend market was valued at around 6,000 crore rupees in 2024, and projections say it could touch nearly 25,000 crore by 2032. Think about that. Men are paying huge amounts of money just to chat with computer programs that are designed to flirt with them. Take Replika for example, one of the most popular AI girlfriend apps. In just 8 months, it made around 200 crore rupees. And another one called Karen AI, a chatbot that pretends to be a virtual girlfriend, earned around 59 lakh rupees in the first week alone. Imagine, in the first week. And this is not even the worst part, because with the progress in technology and with men's lust driving it, now men don't even have to wait for someone else create content for them. They can literally generate it. Today, using AI tools, men can create pornographic videos of any women they want. Celebrities, influencers, co-workers, even ex-girlfriends, without consent, without consequences. Now the big question is, why are men falling for this? Why are they this desperate? Because think about it, these scams, these subscriptions, these fake profiles, none of this would exist if there was not a market. The demand is so so high that people are ready to risk money, reputation, even dignity for a few minutes of fake intimacy. So where is this desperation coming from? One reason, of course, is biology. Men naturally have higher testosterone and their sexual drive is stronger compared to women. Fine, but biology alone cannot explain why a man is spending half of his salary on subscriptions or why he's willing to pay a stranger on Tinder for a video call. There is something deeper going on here. The second reason is loneliness. Modern life has made men lonelier than ever before. Earlier, even if you don't have a girlfriend, you had a strong male friendships, you hang out a lot, you had a community, you had a family. But today, most men spend hours and hours alone in their room scrolling on their phones. Friendships are weaker, families are distant, dating has become harder. Many men don't even know how to talk to a woman in real lives. So when they crave see, where do they go? To the internet, to the fake connection that they're ready to offer. Because at least online, someone is there for them, even if it's just for money. And third, culture. From the moment a boy grows up, what is he told? Be a man, get girls. If women like you, then you're successful. Bollywood throws item songs at them. Ads sell everything from perfume to car using half-naked women. Songs, memes, even jokes. Everything tells men that sex is the ultimate goal. So imagine a boy grows up with that mindset and he doesn't get it in real life. He feels like a failure. And when an online profile says, pay 500 rupees and I'll send you nudes, he would wanna get it by any means. And then there is patriarchy. Society tells men that sex is their right, that men owe them intimacy. When that doesn't happen in real life, frustration builds up. And where does that frustration go? Again to the internet. Look at Japan, for example. They have a term called herbivore men. These are lakhs of young men who have stopped pursuing relationship with women altogether. They are addicted to online intimacy, to fake connections, and as a result, Japan's birth rate has collapsed. Their society is literally shrinking because men and women are not forming real families anymore. So yes, men's desperation is partly biological, but mostly it is manufactured, it's marketed, and it's monetized. Society, culture, and platforms have created this loop where men are constantly told they need sex, they need women, they need intimacy, and then sold them the fake versions of it. And everyone thinks men are the customers here, that they are the ones enjoying, spending money, and getting what they want. But if you look closely, men are also the ones paying a heavy cost in this whole business of lust. First, you're spending your money unnecessarily, which is not good, but that's on you. I'm not going to care about it. There are things that you have to be more concerned about. Number one, mental health. As we said already, lust gives you dopamine, the same chemical that makes you happy when you eat your favorite food or when someone praises you. But the thing is, with porn, the dopamine is on steroids. Instant, high, and addictive. And once your brain gets used to it, your normal life feels boring. Talking to a real woman feels boring. Building an actual relationship feels boring. That's why so many men today feel anxious, depressed, and lonely. Number two, physical health. There is actually a condition now called porn-induced erectile dysfunction. Men who consume a lot of porn content find it difficult to perform in real life because their brain is wired to respond to a screen, not to a real partner. Imagine in the prime of your youth when you should be building real bonds with your girlfriend, you're stuck in a loop where you can't even enjoy a natural intimacy with your girl. There's a huge number of men avoid dating altogether because they feel safer paying for online intimacy, and others enter relationship with unrealistic expectations. They think women should behave like what they have seen on screen, and when the reality doesn't match the fantasy, frustration grows in the relationship and it completely collapses altogether. Now imagine a country where millions of men are lonely, broke, and addicted to fake intimacy. What kind of relationship can you expect in such a place? There'll be no trust. Men don't know how to talk to women anymore. Women don't feel safe with men anymore. Slowly, the gap grows between the two genders, and this is not some imaginary scenario. It's already happening. Look at China. Huge online groups of men call themselves incels, involuntary celibates. Basically men who can't get into relationship with women, so they gather online to blame women. Some of these communities have become so toxic that the members actually celebrating violence against women. So why are we feeling to see that we are slowly building a society where real love, real intimacy, and real families are being replaced by screens, scams, and shallow transactions. And if that doesn't scare us, I don't know what will. On the surface, India looks like a conservative country. We don't openly talk about sex. Schools don't teach about proper sex education. Families immediately silence the children the moment they ask any questions. We worship goddesses. We touch elders' feet. We say Bharatiya Sanskriti with pride. But behind the curtain of morality, India is one of the biggest porn-consuming countries, even though it's banned. You know what this means? Publicly, we act like, oh, we don't even look at such things. But privately, we are glued to our screens. That gap between the public image that we have and the private reality is nothing but hypocrisy. So what do we do now? Do we have to ban everything? See, platforms like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, these are not private clubs, these are public spaces where everyone is there for children to elderly people. If someone wants to go to a particular website to watch something, it's their choice. They are making the choice. But when content like this keep booming in social media, it doesn't just stay as someone's choice, it literally becomes influence. And that's why we are called influencers. And the truth is, it's not about Muskana, any one creator. If not her, there'll be another person tomorrow, because as long as lakhs of men are willing to pay, somebody will step up to supply. It's your money that makes the business possible. And let me warn you, once the numbers start looking attractive, 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs a month, more and more people will jump in. That's how this economy works. And who knows, the next Muskan could be your little daughter. A little girl scrolling in Instagram might think, if she can have that kind of luxury, she can have that kind of followers, why can't I do the same? This is how the cycle keeps repeating. That's why some things still need boundaries. Not everything has to be glorified, not everything should be normalized. A little shame is necessary for the society to function, because when you remove shame completely altogether, anything and everything can become a business. And men, please listen carefully. At the end of the day, you think you're the kings of this economy, but literally you are the slaves of it. You are the ones losing your money, your focus, your mental health, your families. So ask yourself this one question: do you want to be remembered as a man who lost himself in instant pleasure, or as someone who builds something bigger than himself? Get control over your emotions, fix your eyes on real goals, build something. To put it simply, be a man that a woman can look up to.